All right, guys, welcome to another episode of Cuda Education. This is the Vulkan API Discussion series. We're in the gears.cpp algorithm, and this is the next video in this collection. I think this is video 5 now, and we are going to, proceed. But first of all, uh, this algorithm is courtesy of Sascha Willems. Um, it's a freely available algorithm on GitHub that I use to learn the Vulkan API. So I basically run the algorithm. As you can see, this is the result of the algorithm. It's just gears moving, and yeah. So that's what's rendered to the screen with this algorithm. So if you want to join in on the fun, tutorial number 1 installs the Vulkan API on your walks you through installing the Vulkan API on your Windows-based machine with a Vulkan capable GPU. And tutorial number 13 is for installing these examples. Okay, so you could work your way through those two tutorials, and it will give you it will get you up to speed to where we're at now. All right, so the next function in the series is setupDescriptorSets. Okay, so this is the next thing. We just finished setupDescriptorPool. So setupDescriptorSets now. If we go to the definition, it's a simple function. It's going to be a short video where basically we have 3 gears, right? And there's a UBO for each gear. We're cycling through, and we're basically setting up descriptor sets for each one of them. So go to definition here. You see we have the pool and the descriptor set layout. And then and then we have another function here that we basically initialize here, vk allocate descriptor sets. So now this is the allocation step. So we take the logical device, the variable here that we use, and then of course as a handle we call descriptor set. Do I want to get into this right now exactly? Let's get back to this in a minute, but let's just go back. Okay, so basically you're cycling through and you're running this setup descriptor sets function. Now notice that we use as the parameters for this function, we use the descriptor pool variable. Now the descriptor pool variable was basically the previous video. It was a result of this step, the previous video, and it's basically resource allocation, right? So we take the knowledge and information and the result of that function, and we put it into this function here, right? As part of our process of setting up the descriptor sets, the descriptor set. And then we also take our descriptor set layout, okay? Now this is another variable that was basically it was the second video that we did in the collection, right? So set up descriptor set layout, right? And you know what, we'll just go to it. So see this variable here, the lowercase vk function here, that means we're really touching Vulkan now. And you see you have at this and descriptor set layout. So that's the handle for this function here. I mean, we also do a pipeline thing, but that's not relevant for what we want to do now. So this and descriptor set, this handle right here is what we're going to use to in our function right here to set up the descriptor set. And that's basically it for setup descriptor sets. Now let me try and dive into. Right. So there's a descriptor set allocation step here. In the whiteboard video that I have, I'll link to it below. There's a whiteboard video where I go through the whole descriptor set discussion, but in it there is a descriptor set allocation step. So that's what this is right here. I don't want to dive into it too much, but yeah, that's the descriptor set allocation step basically. All right, so this step, vertex shader uniform buffer. So remember I said in the previous video that uniform buffers need to be updated very fast, because as the wheel spins, as the frames on the wheel change in terms of what is being rendered to the screen, because we see it rotating, the reason why it's rotating is that the image is being updated very fast, right? So that's why the wheels rotate in sync and all that stuff, right? So that's this uniform buffer situation. So the binding 0 vertex shader uniform buffer, it's basically you have to update this a lot. So that's kind of what this is right here. VK write descriptor set, blah blah blah, write descriptor set. And we take as a handle what was allocated here, the handle here. We know its type uniform buffer. Let's see what other parameters it takes in. The binding, and it defaults to descriptor count 1, right? So I mean that's as far as I'm gonna go. Wait, hold on. Right, that's as far as I'm gonna go with this. So right, binding 0, and then update VK update descriptor sets. I suggest you guys Google this term. Definitely Google this term. You could look it up in the spec, and it will kind of give you more information. But let's just go back to high level. We're setting up a descriptor set. So remember, it's about telling Vulkan about memory, about what to expect, what can access the memory, what type of memory it is, how many pieces of memory there is. Real quick, remember that binding 0 here again. Notice it's the same binding 0, but remember that we did descriptor set layout where we declared what type of memory it is, what stage of the graphics pipeline can access the memory, right, and all of that, right? And I guess this is the binding, right? And then that 0 there is the binding 0, right? So we do all this upfront work to create these variables because we're going to use them later, right? So if we look at the very high level sequence of events, we set up the descriptor set, right? So we say, okay, it's going to be a uniform buffer. The vertex stage or what have you, vertex stage of the graphics pipeline is going to have access to it. This is how much memory, whatever, right? So we set up that variable. Then we also set up another variable to talk about hardware resources and just preparing resources to host all of this stuff. And then we set up descriptor set. So this, then this, then this. Now, I believe that you couldn't necessarily rearrange these steps because one sort of uses the other, like especially this one, it uses this one and this one. So it's not like you could just rearrange the steps. This is kind of the initialization step, right? So, you kind of now understand that this, this is where we actually set up the descriptor set, but it needs a descriptor pool information and it needs a descriptor set layout information. And of course, there's the binding number and stuff. I don't want to get into the binding numbers and stuff here. The whiteboard discussion I have in the links below, the descriptor set videos, we'll talk more about that, but I don't want to do that right here. All right, that's that is as far as I'm going to go with this video. It's a short video, but I think it's good that it's short. Remember, like and subscribe to the channel. Get your friends together. Anyone in your situation, in your sphere of influence that you know is artistically inclined, please, 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 they're creatives. Get them involved in this. Okay. If you like visual design, if you like being creative and things of that, bring them in, even if they're not a programmer. All of my tutorials and everything that I do doesn't assume that you're some seasoned programmer, that you know everything. I kind of try, as to the best of my ability, give out the definitions of terms and things, that the nuances of things, so that anybody could do this. It's very important. You might actually help the people around you, help your community. This What I'm doing here definitely is trying to help everyone. So if you know people who are artistically inclined, who are creative, tell them about the channel. Get together, work on the algorithms yourself, tinker with the algorithms. When you render the gears, there's a bunch of ways and options through my videos where you'll be able to see how to change different parameters and all that stuff. But it's good for everyone. The modern era is here. Everything is digital, so we have to prepare ourselves skill wise for it, right? And especially if you're coming up, you definitely want to learn how to program and all that stuff. Anyway, this video is done. Like and subscribe. Thank you for watching. On to the next video, which would be update uniform buffers. All right, bye.